Welcome to our historical art series. In this episode, we dive into the heart-wrenching story behind Ilya Repin's powerful painting, Ivan the Terrible and His Son. Step back in time to the 16th century, to the turbulent court of Russia's infamous Tsar, Ivan IV. As we unlock the secrets within each brushstroke, we reveal the chilling events that led to this haunting depiction of a father's internal struggle and a son's tragic fate. Join us on a journey through history, exploring the complexities of power, family, and the human condition. This is the captivating tale of Ivan the Terrible and his son, a story that echoes through the ages and touches our souls. Don't miss this emotional and thought-provoking exploration of one of the most iconic artworks in Russian history. Hit that play button and let the story unfold before your eyes. Ivan the Terrible's temper also created war within his own home, leading to the death of his son, Ivan Ivanovich, which has become a famous story in Russian history and the story portrayed in Ilya Repin's painting. But why did Ivan kill his own son? It is important to note that there are numerous scholarly theories about why Ivan the Terrible killed his son, and many are related to their military and political disagreements, which caused Ivan the Terrible to lash out at his son in anger. However, the commonly held interpretation of Ivan the Terrible and his son, Ivan's story, is that the Tsar hit his son with staff after his son approached him about assaulting his wife, Yelena Sheremeteva, for wearing indecent clothing. His son's wife was also pregnant at the time, and the assault on her reportedly caused a miscarriage. When Ivan's son tried to either stop his father during this altercation or approach him about what occurred, his father reportedly hit him on the head with his staff, causing a fatal head wound. However, Ivan's son died several days after, on November 19, 1581. Ivan the Terrible and his son Ivan painting was publicly displayed in 1885, however. It was banned from display due to its bloody subject matter. Reportedly, Emperor Alexander III banned the painting in April of 1885. It was also the first painting to be censored in Russia. The Russian art collector Pavel Tretyakov bought Ivan the Terrible and his son Ivan painting, but reportedly could not exhibit it due to the censorship, which was fortunately lifted in July of 1885. However, the above was not the only time the Ivan the Terrible painting experienced hatred through vandalism, namely by Abram Balashov in 1913, who gave the painting 3 gashes with a knife. On another occasion, in 2018, Igor Podporin attacked the Ivan the Terrible painting with a metal pole, breaking the glass covering and damaging parts of the painting. He was sentenced to prison for 2.5 years and reportedly attacked the painting because he believed it did not convey the truth of the story of Ivan the Terrible. Ivan the Terrible and His Son by Ilya Repin depicts the heartfelt and tense moment after Ivan the Terrible knocked down his son with his staff and cradles his bloodied and seemingly lifeless body in his arms with wide eyes that speak 1,000 tragedies all at once, as if his entire being will jump out of them at any moment. Looking closer at the composition, the father and son are centrally placed and more into the middle ground. They are placed in an interior setting, possibly the dining or living area of their home. If you look closely, further towards the lower right corner of the composition and just above the staff, is a pool of blood, which almost seemingly blends in with the rug's coloring and patterning, as well as the patches of shadows creeping into the foreground from the background. There are various items and pieces of furniture in this Ivan the Terrible painting. For example, along the left wall is what appears to be an overturned stool, which many sources have described as Ivan the Terrible's throne, and a red cylindrical cushion with what appears to be a headcap on the floor to its right. This area is also slightly raised, evidenced by the 3 narrow levels or steps. In the upper left corner of the composition, along the upper part of the left wall, is a small window, allowing in a gradual amount of light into the room. There are other items alongside the left wall, however. These are shrouded in the shadows and difficult to ascertain. Along the back wall, starting from the left side, is a large stove, a chest with what appears to have pieces of fabric draped over it, as well as other indistinguishable pieces. Along the wall are 2 framed pieces. One is large and possibly a mirror. There is a strong contrast of light in Ivan the Terrible and His Son by Ilya Repin, The foreground is highlighted with an unknown light source, illuminating the two central figures, notably the body of Ivan's son. The background is in shadows, leaving the various pieces of furniture in obscurity. Apart from the light and dark contrasts, Repin utilized a rich array of reds, from dark reds of the blood to the reds of the rugs and cushions. There is also an ornate green and gold patterning of Ivan's son's boots and a beautiful brilliant blue layered underneath his almost salmon-pink caftan, the latter which furthermore creates a color contrast against the deeper reds around him. In another stark contrast, Ivan the Terrible is clad in complete black, which also adds emphasis on his son as well as places him on par with the shadows behind him. The variations of color contrasts create dramatism of the scene and emphasis on the tragic narrative being portrayed. There is a rich variety of tactile textures in Ivan the Terrible painting. Ilya Repin painted in a realistic style and was known for his quick brushstrokes. There are also implied textures in this painting of Ivan the Terrible. For example, notice the silken sheen of Ivan's son's caftan and the softness of its folds, but also the soft folds of Ivan the Terrible's black outfit. These softer folds contrast with the thicker folds of the rugs. Other contrasting textures include the harder appearance of the wood of the overturned throne. Notice how the vertically aligned brushwork indicates the grain of the wood underneath. Color also plays a role to give the impression of wood, for example, the lighter and darker browns. Other textures include the hard metallic surface of the stove in the background. Additionally, the color gray is utilized to indicate its texture, too. There are also geometric lines created, for example. Notice the angular lines implied by how Ivan's son's legs are bent at his knees. Additionally, geometric lines occur in the inanimate objects around the central figures, for example, the horizontal and vertical lines of the overturned throne, the horizontal delineations of the stove, as well as the more dynamic diagonal lines from the diamond patterns on the back wall. Geometric shapes occur in the objects around the figures. For example, the rectangular shape of the window in the upper left corner of the mirror on the back wall, the box-like shape of the overturned, thrown to the left, as well as the different chests against the back wall. Looking at the position in which Ivan is holding his son, it is reminiscent of a mother cradling her newly born child. Although he is not a woman, Ivan was the first Tsar of Mother Russia, and is representing the parent in a sense. The son is still holding himself up on his left wrist, not yet collapsing onto the floor. His right hand sitting on his father's right arm shows no evidence of clutching, as he appears to resist fully giving into his father's embrace. The blood on Ivan the son's head appears fresh and still flowing out quickly. The artist creates this effect by adding tiny white specks or dots in the red of the blood, which is the light reflecting off of it. This indicates that the incidents occurred recently. One can imagine in their head the order of the events in the scene. First, there was a kick to the chair, knocking it over. A whack to Ivan's head follows. As he falls down, he scrunches up the carpet. Ivan the Terrible drops his staff and falls to his knees, crawling to his son to hold him up and attempt to save him from the inevitable. Ivan IV's hand is a notable image. It cradles Ivan's head with the fingers tightly closed in hopes to stop the blood and undo the horrors of what he has caused: art, history, and human nature. In this reflective segment, we contemplate the enduring significance of historical art and its ability to connect us with the emotions and struggles of our ancestors. We ponder the lessons we can learn from this poignant painting and how it mirrors universal themes of power, family, and the complexities of human nature. Thank you for joining us on this artistic journey. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking analyses of timeless masterpieces. Until next time,